Sound resumed.
But that's always been the case. This is the thing. It's never not been like that.
Yeah.
As
No,
long
it has not been like that in the past.
yeah,
Where
because
the government
technology didn't
hasn't.
permit it. The technology didn't permit it,
has-
and now the
well,
technology
no,
does
the
permit it.
government
It's at
always
that point.
The government always has been able to, but it hasn't been legal.
They always have. No. Okay.
Oh, it hasn't been
Look
legal
up
to, though.
Pinkerton. Okay, but they did, and nobody stopped them. And there was never really even that big of a scandal about it. Look up Pinkerton Detective Agency.
In the
It
times we
really
live in
doesn't
now,
matter though, because it's still illegal.
in the times we live in now, you can simply not afford. And if my thing is, if the only argument is, well, they should have told us, I was like, all right then. Well, the terrorists should have told us, or I should tell you that you're not gonna get accepted into something before, even though I'm just gonna sit here and wait till the deadline, anyways, right? I mean, does it matter? In the end, no. If the government feels like they're doing something, and I mean, I think that's fine if they want to record shit. So I don't say anything that I regret. Actually, I do say shit I regret on the phone, but in the end, I know it doesn't matter because if somebody's that hard trying to fuck me over, then fine, they can fuck me over for one of the other 100 things I've done on Facebook or something, right?
Well, yeah, and this is the thing. I'm against the surveillance. I don't think that the surveillance state's a positive thing. I don't think it really stops terrorism. But to complain about it is just so fucking stupid because it's going to happen regardless. Like if you're going to complain about it, then start to do something about it. But you'll quickly find out that way before the NSA, way before a lot of this shit, people were still watching. Like I'm telling you, I've had friends with the FBI who show up to their house, search their entire house. I've known people who were subpoenaed for fuck all. And held for 60 days because they're not answering to a grand jury. It's
What
the thing
you
that
could
fucking
do,
happens.
though, what you could do is instead of allowing it, you could act to make it illegal.
And okay, except if you act to make it illegal, it's still gonna fucking
Everyone's
happen.
too lazy to do that.
It's still it's still gonna happen.
It's
But
going
then
to happen
anything
just
that they
as much.
find and then bring against you in a court of law would not stick because it would be illegal to actually get that
Okay,
information.
look up Fred Hampton. They just kill you instead.
No.
Yes. Joe Hill, Fred Hampton.
The majority of cases wouldn't end like that. Those were specific cases.
I'm telling you that between 1900 and 1940, there were probably at least 300 people who were murdered in their bed mysteriously because they're organizing a union. During the 1960s, there were at least 100 people sent over to death row because for shit they were proven that they didn't do, and that they were tried and tried and tried again until it went through by a hair, and then they're given the full extent of the law. It's just something that happens. If the government is going to be spying on you and trying to take you down, they're going to do it, whether it's legal or not. They don't care. Again, you can look at the Pinkerton Agency. That was completely illegal, but nobody was against it because all the interests were in allowing them to do their thing and letting them shoot strikers in the face and doing nothing about it, and then arresting the strikers who shot back. It's just something that happens in this country. So to complain and try to waste your time to make it illegal isn't going to actually solve anything. And aside from that, I mean, there's more money. Additionally, the NSA and the government isn't even the biggest thing that spies on you. It's predominantly corporations like Facebook, like Google. People who do shit for advertisement reasons who then sell it to the government.
You want to ever figure out how your job figures out all the shit you do on Facebook? Even when you think your shit's completely covered up, everything's hid away. Yet they see the pictures of you fucking doing heroin. It doesn't take much. Those background check agencies, right? They could do a legal background check. No, if they suspect you of being a real suspect, they'll do a full ass background check and find every damn thing about you if they wanted to.
How do we get into this topic anyway?
Put our social security number on everything. Then you can use your social security number and find out exactly what hospital you were born in, when you were born, where you lived
that's
at,
true.
every purchase you've made, your phone number, because so your phone number's hooked up to your phone, which then they have every phone call you made if they want to.
And don't believe their bullshit that they only see metadata. They can get those phone calls if they really wanted to.
They can get anything they want if they want to. It's there. It's the fucking internet. There's always some way around it. The ways around it is established for when you need it. Like if I was running a company and I want to make sure I don't have some trash in there, and I don't want somebody on there who just posted on Facebook a couple days ago that they're doing cocaine on my front steps of my job, right? I wouldn't know that unless if I had something to do for me because their Facebook is blocked.
Yeah. And I mean, like, personally, I don't think that that's really an excuse for something like that happening. But at the same time, basically what I'm saying is it's going to happen regardless. So complaining about it is, I mean, it's empty. It's it's like complaining about people coming and taking your guns away. That's not gonna fucking happen. People seriously are getting quote unquote up in arms. You know, when they get up in arms about NSA, it's like anonymous. I hate to say it, they've done more than most people in taking down their website every now. And they actually didn't actually take down the NSA website. That's like the biggest thing. That's like the biggest thing you can do is flood their servers. And even then, that's not anything.
But
Shay, I do have a question for you, though.
Go for it.
Do you believe Edward Snowden is a traitor or a whistleblower?
By what?
Do you believe he's a traitor? Edward Snowden. Do you believe he's a traitor or a whistleblower?
Neither. The guy's a fucking hero. Okay, it's good that he did that. It's good that
So
people
he's a
know.
whistleblower. So you
Sure,
believe
you
he
can call him
shouldn't
whistleblower.
be in prison for the rest of his life? For
No,
what he
he
did?
shouldn't be in prison for the rest of his life. Of course not. Like I said, I'm against the surveillance state. But I'm saying that you complaining, you think you're gonna get him out of prison by signing petitions and
Oh
lobbying?
no, that's obviously not going to happen.
You're not gonna be able to get him out of prison. Complaining about it does nothing. You can fight for the people who are outside of there. You can actually take actions, but very quickly you'll see that the problem is a lot bigger than the NSA.
Yeah,
And
definitely.
the problem is very deep seated. Like 1850 is when it really started to get bad. As soon as the Industrial Revolution hit.
Yeah.
Immediately there's a huge
Technology spiraling
surveillance
out
state.
of control. I mean,
Well,
essentially.
I mean, it didn't even have anything to do with technology. It had something to do with like the fact that there were like growing class conflicts, and that people. I mean, like, of course, technology did have a lot to do with it. But basically, what I'm saying is that technology is, as far as it's permitted, our government and private institutions have utilized it to maintain their power. They're going to always use that. So if in 100 years there's a camera in every room, people are just using it for a webcam, and a government has a possibility of accessing that, whether it's illegal or legal, you can bet your ass they're going to be watching. If there's a way of doing it, that's always how it's going to be. They're going to be pushing the envelope with technology as far as they can, and as technology advances, you can expect that to advance as well.
The only reason why there was no problems with it was because there was a time where there wasn't any other thing other than what was said in the press or was said in word. Now that we have phone calls, that's a form of possible recording, digital memory, internet digital memory. All this is just memory. There's the only thing, if the safest way to have anything truly be safe is to not say it at all, or to say it only to somebody who you actually truly can trust.
Yeah,
Where
there are safe networks of communication, and that's why I say Edward Snowden's good for what he did, because now activists and people who should be concerned.
Now, yeah, so with that, like, here's my issue with Snowden is apparently he was like selling shit to China or something. Or
No, he
giving,
didn't sell anything to anyone.
giving stuff away to other countries. Come on, that's
No,
a
he didn't. The only thing he gave away was the thing about the spying, and that was to the Guardian.
no.
There was talks about him giving information about how the U.S. was spying on Russia, but he never actually did it. They were saying that Russia he would do it in exchange for amnesty from Russia, but he never did it.
All right, I mean, with that said, I mean, if he did give stuff away, I think he's a complete dumbass.
I think if he gave away that kind of information, then he would be a traitor. But I think
Okay.
he's too smart to actually do that shit.
I mean,
He
if they-
knows
for what-
that he's
for
in deep shit
anything
with
else.
America.
I mean, it was pretty much only what Jade said. Like, to me, it's not even pertinent because I really don't do much stuff where it could possibly be something that, like, the government may not be happy with or something retarded like that. So, all right, fine. Maybe it's a wake up call for activists and stuff. All right, fine. I'll give that. I was like, all right, good job, clap, clap. But if he's giving,
But yeah, that's somebody who I've been meeting with weekly lately, to organize against a student tuition hike that's coming up. It's something that just happens. There's a guy I knew named Jordan Halliday for a while. Somebody knocked on his door, dressed as a fucking UPS guy, said, "Are you Jordan Halliday?" He said yes, and he said, "You're under arrest." They brought him to a courtroom. He refused to testify as to who the other activists were. They held him for 60 days in solitary confinement. This shit happens. And that's completely legal. It's been legal since like 1910.
I mean, as I said, people have been doing it since the fucking Civil War.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of when, honestly, like that's when the intelligence agencies really got off the ground, is because in the North they're worried about Confederate spies, and in the South they're worried about Northern spies.
Yeah.
And that's, I mean, it's just kind of, that's where it pretty much kicked off, and it's been a huge problem ever since. But complaining about it, it does absolutely nothing. And honestly, man, this is, as far as Snowden goes, even if you expose secrets about U.S. troops, we shouldn't be there. And I don't know, this is probably a really cold position that I'm about to take. But if more soldiers are getting killed there, that's more influence for us to get out there. We don't belong there by any measure. We're creating terrorists by being there.
Yeah. Oh, I definitely agree with that. As you can see from I don't remember the woman what her name was, but you know, the one who met with President Obama and said that the drones were creating
Kushner?
terrorists.
I thought that was funny as fuck. They took her off the air so fast after she started talking about we should have a large scale socialist revolution in the entire world. She was.
I mean,
awful.
she's absolutely right. Not really the socialist revolution, but that we should get drones out of
Oh.
Afghanistan
Well,
because
yeah,
she's
but
creating
I'm-
terrorists.
Yeah,
It's just
but I mean,
making
like-
them realize that we're killing innocent people, and the people in their country are taking action for it, and there's nothing wrong with that.
Oh yeah,
If people
not
in our
just that.
country
I
had
mean,
drones and were killing our
No,
innocent civilians, I would expect us to take action for that.
I'm not even saying that. Like, I'm saying that the people in Iraq have as much right to shoot our soldiers in the face as we do to shoot a Chinese soldier in the face who's invading our country.
Or British.
Or British. Exactly. That's my point. Like, I don't know. I don't think we belong there. I have no more sympathy for an American soldier than I do for an Iraqi or a Chinese they're all just fucking, they're people who are tangled up in something shitty. But in that case, we're the aggressor and we don't belong there. And if more of us are getting killed there, then we should think twice before we invade a fucking country.
Unfortunately, the powers that be don't agree with that, and they would rather have their personal interests in mind than the interest of our soldiers and also our country as a whole.
Yeah. And
And their country, too.
yeah, I don't know. I thought it was really funny when Malala was on the fucking TV. Like, I think I remember seeing this thing like a Tea Partier was saying like, look, Obama's meeting with another socialist, and it was very apparent that neither of them fucking agreed with each other, and it became immediately apparent to anyone with a brain just how much of a not socialist Obama was.
Oh, Obama's center right.
Yeah, that best center right. My God, like the left wing in America is on the same ring as along the same lines as like fucking Pinochet.
I agree with that. It's kind of ridiculous.
Yeah, they took her off the air so fast after she's like, yeah, well, you see, the actual issue with Al-Qaeda, it's not Al-Qaeda, it's fucking America. And they're like, so we were kind of like idolizing you, we were going to use you as a banner, to support the war against terror, but we don't think we're going to do that anymore. You just stop talking, please.
And
Yeah,
also,
pretty
young
much.
black
But she
people
kept
now.
talking. And luckily, some of the reporters actually reported what she
I
said.
haven't seen that video.
Let me say. Oh, I don't think I've seen this one, but that's funny.
Oh, here it is. That's what Malala was saying. Quality of this picture is really bad, but yeah, in Pakistan, socialism, like secular leftism in general, is the very predominant force.
That's a video of the Young Turks talking about Malala.
Yeah, that picture, that's a conference of socialist leaders in Pakistan meeting. And yeah, that's what was the main current in Pakistan before the Soviet Union invaded and basically turned everybody off of it because they were Stalin wasn't a good dude. And it's starting to make a comeback. Things are really, I don't know, the media likes to spin things really interestingly.
To me, it's useless. The only thing they're good at is reporting ESPN. Right?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't even really fucking watch them anymore. I watch blatantly biased sources of both sides, and then I just look at the bias. I'm like, this is the bias they're reporting from, and I judge for myself. But you tend to get more hard facts, just not all the facts, and then you need to look around and find all the facts.